And so, beloved masters, we are here in this evening of a time that could be called by the earth a wild ride. And so, dearly beloved masters, the energy that is being generated by this new moon is so very powerful. The new moon is sitting in the 29th degree of Sagittarius. And any planet that sits in that last 2 degrees of a sign or the first 2 degrees of a sign are drawing in the energy of the Earth axis. And that is such a powerful point of completion and new beginnings. Sagittarius is a sign of happiness, of freedom, of the joy of just enjoying life with every fiber of your being. It's about joviality. It is about prosperity and abundance. And it is that Mars and Venus sit very close into this new moon. It is that Venus, you might say, is following the new moon. It's coming along behind as it sits at 24 degrees of Sagittarius. And then Mars has slipped over into the sign of Capricorn, but it's at only 3 degrees, so it is still quite closely conjunct to this new moon. Venus, the planet of love, Mars, the planet of essence and an energy and vigor, Venus, divine feminine, Mars, divine masculine. This time of uniting the divine masculine and feminine within yourself. They're there, they've always been there. But people are feeling the fact that they've wandered so far away from themselves energetically that the idea, the intimacy of the divine masculine and feminine that brings you to a place of feeling in love with yourself. And certainly for a very long time on this planet, religion has more and more discouraged that feeling of being personally in love with yourself, feeling the love so deeply. And the logical mind begins to look around for some objective. Who can I share this love with? And that has, due to the fact that the planet tends to be in desire of being controlling, has created a lot of energy issues. But now, today in this time, it is for you personally to spend time feeling in love with you, feeling what it feels like to be in your body. How does it feel to be inside yourself? And as you begin to quest about that, many people will begin to realize they don't remember being inside of themselves. They've had a sense of being with themselves, perhaps standing outside watching self doing things, or even observing from the inside, but looking at outer activities and not necessarily feeling that inner connection, that energetic unity with self that allows you to experience divine love. God, Goddess, all that is. There's been a lot of talk about the 3I axis. It is that at first, when it showed up on the telescopes, it was thought to be a comet. And certainly it is accompanied by 6 comets. But as there's been more attention, more study, more looking into things, the realization has dawned it's not a comet. And no one really knows exactly what it is. I cannot describe to you necessarily the physicality of it, but I can assure you, dearly beloved masters, this object is like a love letter to the earth from brothers and sisters, not aliens, but part of you. Just because they don't live on the earth, just because you can't communicate with them yet, they are a part of you as you are a part of them. Multidimensional beings, interstellar beings. And so, beloved masters, this love letter from the divine, encouraging each and every one not only to love yourself, but to love yourself, be in touch with your soul, open your heart so deeply that you can love them and you can feel their loving. It isn't possessive. It doesn't require obedience. It has absolutely no desire to control, for it has no desire to be controlled. And in the higher frequencies, the idea of taking someone else's power away, the idea of denying yourself or another human being the right to be who you are. 3I. I am that I am. I am that I am. I am that I am. The threefold affirmation of the unity and oneness with all that is. Feel the energy of belonging as you affirm, not just saying words, because so many go into a ritualistic state, but it's almost as though say it faster, do it quicker to get on to the next thing. I am that I am. Feel that. Feel that experience. Feel that oneness. Feel that love. And accept that it is yours. It's divinely gifted from the very beginning of time. It's yours. Take it in. Let it be. And let yourself be that which you truly are. When someone wants you to do what they want you to do, you have the divine right within you to consider whether that feels divinely appropriate or not. Is it all right if I say no? And the logical mind has used fear as a controlling element. If your mate or partner or friend says to you, I want you to do this, and you feel within yourself, if you don't, they may withhold love. And everyone wants to be loved. Everyone desires to feel that love so much. And this new moon, sitting at the end of Sagittarius, moving into Capricorn, and the beginning, day after tomorrow, of the winter season. The winter solstice is on the 21st. And it is a powerful, powerful energy with all of this influence of the 3I, with all of this energy that is moving very much like bringing new energy into this essence, this energy, this power of love, new joy, new freedom, the delight of being faithful and true to yourself in love. Mercury sits at 10 degrees of Sagittarius, and this is a communication, a turning of what you're saying, what you're thinking, what you're speaking, to honesty, truth, integrity. And it is amazing that how these energies are bringing up for people how much they have denied themselves, how much guilt, how much shame has been taken on over lifetimes, and there's never been any call to let it go. So these times are calling humanity to let the guilt and the shame go. Well, how will I know what it is? It's being brought to the surface. Many people are feeling guilty and they don't even know why. They're shamefaced. They don't want to face people and they don't know why. And in many ways, dearly beloved masters, that is just fine because you don't need to go back over why you have had shame or why you have had guilt. You just, in love, get to surrender that sack of old negative emotions. Let them go. Let them go. You might even want to make a ritual altar and using white or violet or silver candles and writing forgiveness releases, perhaps burning incense, such as the dragon's blood, which is about cleansing old negative emotions, clearing the space, your house, your inner self. This is a good time, beloved masters, to do a sage cleanse, to have a sage stick and to light it and begin at the back of your home and move forward and bring all of the old negativities as you cleanse and purify each room by anything that is not about love. Leave my home now. And you bring it all to the front door and you open the door and you step outside with your sage stick and invite all this old accumulation of self-doubt or shame and guilt or conflicted emotions and invite it to leave my home. I'm starting the new year with a clear place, with an open space, inside and out. And so, beloved masters, the rituals of forgiveness, it really, after all, isn't so much forgiving others. People do that all the time. I forgive you. But do you, can you, if you feel unforgiven? I forgave you. Why don't you forgive me? But it isn't so much what they do, that's what they must be with. I ask God to forgive me. God never held anything against you. God, Goddess never saw you as shameful or something to be guilty about. So it isn't about asking others to forgive you, asking God to forgive you, forgiving others, because these times are about you coming home fully, totally, completely, energetically, bringing your emotions so that they can be translated into a higher vibrational frequency of feelings. I feel rather than I react. And so these energies in Sagittarius bring an effervescence, they bring a sacred fire to the opening and renewal. New moon works from the inside out, cleansing, clearing, purifying, calling the white fire to move through you from the crown of your head to the soles of your feet, and allow the negativity that you have held, that you have carried, that you've accumulated, and allow it to just flow out through the palms of your hands and the soles of your feet into Mother Earth. And logic wants to worry about putting negativity in Mother Earth. But by her very nature, she transmutes negativity. In many ways, the earth is like an alchemist, a spiritual alchemist that translates the negativity that the children create for themselves into unconditional love. To be able to look into your own eyes and say, I love you. To look at yourself and feel, I love you. And to let go of whatever the logical mind is attempting to tell you to interfere with that connection of you with yourself. And masters, that is what these times, all of these amazing planetary aspects, some of them that only occur every 12,000 or 6,000 or 3,000 years, but some that haven't occurred, as far as anyone knows, in the patterns that they are, because it's as though all the unique aspects that have been occurring, shall we say, over the last 12,000 years, And looking at that and realizing they're pretty much all coming together here now. They've been occurring over the last 4 years, and some of them are short cycles, so they've occurred more than once. But the large outer planets that really have an influence on the karma of the planet and her people, those have moved into place in such an optimistic, enthusiastic, encouraging way of changing the heart, lifting the emotions to feelings, of allowing the logical mind to be interconnected with the divine mind. Feel it. You feel that in the center of your body, in the area of the stomach, in the area of the heart, the soul center, in the area of the navel. That is a great power energy of how am I going to use my power? Yes, power draws up from the root chakra. But when it reaches that splenic chakra, it begins to take on, I suppose one word we could use is the sacred responsibility as a divine creative master. How am I using my power, this God-given gift? So, dearly beloved masters, this absolutely astounding time, and everyone is feeling the energy. It may make you, as I said, feel loving, in love, almost as though it's romantic, but it's so much bigger. It's not just a romance that's limited to one other person besides yourself. It is a love that encompasses the totality of all that is. I am that I am, one with all that is. I am that I am, as God and Goddess created I. I am that I am, heart and soul and body brain, as it is within, so it is without. As it is above, so it is below. World unto world unto world. Because now the loving is moving out beyond the planet Earth to embrace and be embraced by those that have come from other galaxies, other star systems, places that you have heard names, but you've never seen the places because they're too far for the telescopes to register. But you may begin to feel that connection with home if you had a starting place of your soul in the Pleiades or on Orion or the different many places, planets, Sirius, and as you feel your connection with those interstellar places, you may begin to feel an energetic return. I love out into the universe, and I feel loved by the universe within myself. Walk to the edge of your comfort zone and stretch and allow more love, more good, more joy, more light into you than you have known in lifetimes. And feel yourself bigger, because that aspect of you that has walked on this earth in this carbon-based vehicle, which really isn't particularly large. Now, in the beginning, I can tell you that the beings that walked here were 20 feet and then 15 feet and then 12 feet until now. If a person is 7 feet tall, they're considered a giant. And yet there were times when you stood amazingly tall. There were times when you lived amazingly long. But you came here to learn in this University of the Universe, and a lot of it was, how am I going to live myself? And I suppose you could call it personal ego, decided that it didn't like the idea of everyone being equal, which was true in that time. That some people were really better and more deserving and grander and smarter and all the divisive wonders that humanity has gotten involved in. But this is a time of drawing in the unity with all that's out there. And the logical mind says, but what if they're bad people? Let me define again one more time what a divine, a creative master is. You are what you think. So if you're thinking and worrying about bad people, mean people, cruel people, and you're worried about those aliens that are supposed to come here and save you. And at this point, let me remind you, no one can save you from yourself. Someone can show you a new direction, and you can choose to follow it. Someone can give an admirable life as an example. And you can choose to design yourself in that manner if you wish. You cannot be them. And again, one more time, I will say, the Master Jesus came here with an assignment to help the earth remember what you are now coming to today, to help you to remember that we are one. We are all one. Those that are here on Earth, those that are in other planets, those that are other in star systems, those that are etheric, those that are pure spirit, and those that might potentially even be denser than you are. But you're all part of a divine whole that includes multiverses. And humans get worried about this one planet and 8 billion people here. And yet there are unfathomable numbers of planets and galaxies and universes that include unimaginable numbers of people, beings, creatures. And humanity is being required to refine their considerations of themselves and others. To be who you are, because certainly the logical mind has educated you to be by a standard that is set in the world that you are reminded you're supposed to be following when, in all honesty, very few are. There are those that rigidly stand by the law, what they have believed is divine law, or what they have been told is man's law, but they rigidly adhere to the law, and they're terrified to break the law. At the other end of the spectrum, there are those that don't consider law of any value. They also don't consider honesty and integrity and transparency as anything particularly important. But it is where the energy of all of this is moving is literally the homecoming, the awakening, revelation. It isn't that Gabriel's going to blow a horn and everyone on the planet's going to hear it, but it is that everyone on the planet is beginning to register vibrational shifts. Perhaps you were thinking about considering doing something that you really knew wasn't a wise thing, and yet you wanted a certain outcome bad enough that you were determined to make that choice to get that outcome. And suddenly, almost as though some switch in your psyche got flipped and you absolutely understood beyond the shadow of a doubt how unworkable making that particular choice would be, and how far the outcome would be from what you thought you would get by making the choice that you were considering making. And there are a lot of people on Earth now that, for whatever their own personal reasons are, they're making choices that they know from the Lord God of their being are not choices that, if they could, they would make. They would make something different. They would make something sweeter. But they're focused on an outcome. And they believe that the only way to get that outcome is to make choices that don't agree with their inner standards. And so there is the greatest division that has occurred on this planet since the beginning, happening right now on Earth. Deliberate, unconsidered destruction. Hatred released from the vaults of hell. And people are hating deeply, where they may have hated before, but because of, what would they say, or because of what might happen to them if they let their hatred go, they would be obviously punished. But now, in the chaotic energy of the planetary shifts and the fact that Earth is becoming new, it's moving to a different level. And things that were are not any longer, sometimes in the blink of an eye, which takes us back to what I was saying about you may have been thinking about making a choice, and suddenly inside it's almost as though you feel a sense of peace, a sense of ease, a sense of expansion, perhaps even a sense of joy that you didn't make that choice. And you feel the love so deeply. The love that is coming into this place from other solar systems, other galaxies, coming from the stars all over this universe. Those who have recognized there is a planet that is birthing, and we desire to be there for that birth. And so beings from all over are gathering here. And the planets in the heavens around this earth are really beaming, speaking of high technology, energies that are potentially shifting, not taking away free will, but expanding the potential of it so that you're not looking at life with blinders. You're not seeing life in such a tiny perspective. But people all over the planet are beginning to wake up in their own unique individual ways to the fact that there is so much more, to the fact that I am, that I am so much more. I'm capable of so much more. I can create so much better, kinder. I am obviously able to create a very different, very beautiful, very peaceful planet. Not by myself, but with the accompaniment of multitudes of people that are also waking up. Feel it in yourself. Find it inside of you. These activators, Pluto is at 2 degrees of the sign of Aquarius, the new age, the new order. It is sitting in a trine to Uranus at 26 degrees of Taurus. It's still retrograde because Taurus hasn't turned to go forward yet, but it will very soon. By the time the spring equinox occurs in 2026, all the planets that have been retrograde, for this time it is Uranus and Saturn and Neptune, and it is that all of these planets will be direct, settled into the new signs, which are taking this planet forward. There's been a great emphasis on earth and water, a lot of flooding, a lot of earthquakes, shifting of the tectonic plates. It has been volcanic activity, the shaking of the earth, tsunamis. But after the spring equinox of 2026, the energy is going to be directed more to fire. Yes, in the physical plane, fire can be destructive. But in the spiritual elements, fire is an essence of spirit. More conscious awareness of spirit within you. And the air you breathe, the thoughts you think, the desires you carry to create will be moving in a very new direction, moving up and away out of the destructive chaos that 2025 has set in place. Because, yes, beloved masters, the old order had to be dismantled. And there's been a plan for the new order that will encompass a very small group of people on the earth who will be the rulers, dictators, leaders owners of the slaves who will serve them. But in all the destruction that is being wreaked on the earth, it seems that these beings have not considered. They really believe that after they've destroyed so much, that the earth will still be there waiting for them. That they can just go on as though nothing ever happened. And everyone on the planet is being changed, whether they intend to, whether they want to, if they passionately desire it, if they are neutral. Everyone is being changed. So these planetary aspects are leading into this new year, 2026, which is a 1. It's actually a 10-1. And in numerology, as the number has a 0 after it, it's as though this number is now picking up the energy of the God force, of spirit, of the unknowable. 1 is the basic beginning. 10 is now the energy of the God force is beginning to move in the creation. So 2026 is a 10-year, a new beginning, a shift of consciousness, more than just 1. It is 10. And so, beloved masters, this particular 10 is of such a magnitude of transformation, and it isn't necessarily visible. Because right now, as I am speaking to you, there are things going on under the surface, secrets that are being set in place without any logical consideration that everything that has been hidden is being revealed. There is no hiding place down here. Some of the intentions to destroy have actually unearthed secrets, have unearthed treasure, have unearthed hiding places. And so there really is no place to hide, which means in your physical form, in this carbon-based vehicle, that you will be required to let go of your secrets. And the logical mind says, I don't want to. Are you hurting? Do you have pain? If you do, beloved masters, ask Spirit to take you to the pain and assist you to really open up what you've been holding in that place of pain. The back of your neck, the shoulders, your arms, your hands, your spinal column, the low back, hips, the pelvis region, the knees, the ankles and feet, anywhere, your head, constant headaches because you're stressing your logical mind trying to figure out how to hold on to what you've got. More and more spiritual wisdom awakening in humanity that has known these truths in other times. But now the energy is bringing up from the depths the illusions that have made humanity doubt who they are, their capabilities. It's caused them to give their power away. It's caused them to worship other humans instead of understanding that in each and every human is the sacred spark of the divine God, Goddess, all that is. So these planetary openings, Saturn is sitting at 25 degrees of Capricorn, or rather Pisces, excuse me. And it is waiting very patiently because it's getting ready to shift back into the sign of Aries. Neptune is at 29 degrees, back on that edge of the global axis, moving into Aries, the first sign of the horoscope. So, beloved masters, you are being given information, understanding, and a lot of energetic shifts where things just change. Well, why did they change? Because you have those of us who are with you that are observing your energy in love. And you're asking for things, and we're observing your energy, how you're using it, what you are willing to allow. And when you come to a point where you are about to make a breakthrough into a new higher understanding, a new awareness of acceptance, allowing yourself more than you've had before, when you're, you might say, teetering on that brink, a lot of times we will send a little bit of energy to help so that you can get open. We don't send a lot because it would scare you so much you'd probably close down again, but we can flip a switch and you can have an epiphany. And that isn't scary, that's fun. That is almost like someone opened the windows and let the sun shine in. Enlightenment. And more are waking up and becoming available. And there are those who have fallen into such a depth of self-hatred that the only way they believe that they can stand to be is to take this physical life. And so there are many who may be according to the logical mind, their ego, fulfilling something that they committed to do, perhaps in another lifetime. And then when the time came, here and now, they were a different person. And yet they felt obligated to fulfill those commitments. And then, after they've done such a thing, many of them are taking their own life. Because they don't have an acceptance of the fact that if this body ceases, you don't. So the planet Pluto, the ruler of Scorpio, the house in the astrological chart of death. And so there is so much Plutonian energy on death. There are those who worship death. Black has become such an important color to many in these times. White is the encompassing the fulfillment of all color. Black absorbs color. It takes it, but it doesn't give it back. It isn't the color of being cursed. The night sky can be very black. But it is, dearly beloved masters, that many people feel so depressed, so let down, so full of failure, so unnoticed. Messages that the logical mind has sent out. And the youth, in their innocence, are being turned toward the darkness because the logical mind has made the things of the outer world, the physical trappings, far more important than spirit, than the connection to the divine. So here in this time where the planetary motion, the energy of what's going out from the earth that is calling love and assistance, midwives from the cosmos, to assist the earth in her birthing into a new becoming. Logic, when it's afraid of something happening, wants to push the timing out. Oh, well, that won't happen for another 25,000 years. That's a full cycle of ages. And you're in the transformational aspects of the Aquarian age now. When they sang in the 60s, this is the dawning of the age of Aquarius, it was. But that dawning had taken 100 years. So when the Aquarian age finally peaked over the horizon and the light began to really shine at the winter solstice in 2020, you had already experienced the cusp period moving into the age of Aquarius and releasing the aspects of the Piscean age. The planets are telling a story of evolution. The planets are bringing you imagination. They're bringing you credibility. They're bringing you opportunities to be honest and true and fair and considerate of yourself, powerful in your beingness with yourself and your openness to being one with God, God all that is. And so, beloved masters, the changes that are happening, the past that is being torn away, it's being blown up, it's being destroyed because there's no back to go to energetically. But there are those who, from some inner motivation, feel led to carry out that destruction so thoroughly that there really is no back to go to. Humanity tends to really want to hold on to things. So, in many instances, the only way to get people to let go is to just obliterate it. That's not God's law. But according to the minds of men, they believe that they are making the ground ready for new things. And they do not realize how accurate they are and how far from what they believe they're doing they are. So, beloved masters, this is a time of self-awareness, self-knowledge. It is not selfish to know yourself. To know yourself so well that you can take this love letter from the universe that 3i Axis is bringing to you, and absorb it. Let it in. Let it feed your cells. Let it lift your heart. Let it inspire you to greater good. Bring me a higher love. That was another bidding a number of years ago. Ask and you shall receive. It's just the mind thinks that if I ask right now, it's going to happen in my head or right in front of me. But bring me a higher love, and voila, the universe is answering the call. So at this amazing coalition of planets that have been building full moon and new moon, full moon and new moon, clear back into April of 2023. Actually, it started in August of 16 with a total eclipse. These are just markers, and it's moved on and it's become larger a bit like a snowball rolling downhill. It's gathering energy that is being transmuted and translated and transformed and then shared with the whole, with the total of humanity at this time. It isn't going to be a one-time event because there's no there. But this evolutionary process is now something that humanity is conscious of. You've lived it for eons of time. But this consciousness of, I am involved in this, I am a part of this, is waking up. There are those that want to stop it, but there are many more that are feeling, I'm here for something greater. And some of the logical minds interpret greater as better than. But this time, greater is equality. This time, the gift is, I'm not better than you, and you're not better than I. And yet we have such amazing gifts to share. And I can't possibly do everything, and you can't either. And so there's 8 billion of us that have all these different parts that when they are shared, when they are brought together, they create a new world. Dearly beloved, amazing, feel it, divine masters. Not better, but a master of your own beingness. Understanding that your soul makes choices that many other souls are making, but you never make them in the same way or in the same time or in the same sequence. So each soul has a different imprint, a different vibrational influence. And that's what you are, masters. That's what you are. You're remembering what you were in the beginning. It's been perfected, it's been refined, it's been upgraded. You've had thousands of lifetimes of experience in places that had nothing to do with the earth. Many of you as souls come from different universes. And you brought your experiences here just to expand your awareness, to increase your understanding. So these powerful times, this weekend is opening another portal into the higher understanding. It's lifting you up so that as you are inside of yourself, you can look outside and have a different perspective than when you're caught up in the chaos without that spiritual bubble. And you can look at what's going on out there and you can feel what you desire to bring in love to the earth. There will be others desiring to bring the same thing, but they will bring it in their way. So no one's got a better idea. No one is taking your ideas, your creations away from you, because each one is weaving their own special part of the whole. The web that has no weaver is the web of light that blends all souls together. It's not about spiders. It's about unity. And so, beloved masters, these are amazing times. And I have spoken long in this because I feel like what you are entering into, what this solstice will bring, what winter, which is a time of being quiet within, being with self, discovering, considering, going over what the year has been. You've planted, you have tended, you have harvested, and the year is the time of abundance and benefiting and self-awareness. So, beloved masters, delight in where you are going. Forgive allowing the conflicts of the outer world to distract you from your own homecoming. For the call has gone out to all, even those that are killing and those that are being killed. Many believe that death will take them where they want to go. It will take you to a place where you can decide if you want to find another garment to wear in this place and return to earth again, or whether you want to bide your time and see where things are going. But it is, beloved masters, you are changing. Everything is changing. And no matter what choice you make and believe that's it, it isn't. Ain't nothing what it seems. And the logical mind says, well, if that is true, how do I know what to choose? I want to choose the right thing. Then listen within, because spirit has no right or wrong, but it does have a sense of self-awareness that is right and true for you to live, to love, to expand. And so, beloved masters, it is that we will now close the circle, open the circle rather. And so we thank the North and the ways of the North, the great teacher the great informer. We thank the West, the ways of the goddess, the waters, the energy that flows on. We thank the sacred dragon, the Kundalini, and the ways of the South. And we thank the East, the place of dawning, of new thought, of lifting up over. And so the circle is open. All that have joined us that would feel the necessity to go out into their day or out into their night, we have welcomed you, and you are welcome to return. Very meet, very part, and very meet again. And for those that would desire to stay and be with us for a time, we welcome you. And so, beloved masters, I call this ritual complete.